93.3 KDKB, the Valley's original rock station, and we've been talking about it for quite some time now. Made the announcement just about a week and a half ago, maybe, but December 1st, Celebrity Theater, 93.3 KDKB presents the Bret Michaels first annual Life Rocks Foundation Super Concert and Charity Auction, and who's hanging out here in the KDKB studios but the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Bret Michaels.
Yes! Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Man.
It is awesome to be here, and I've got to start by thanking you guys for jumping on, because if, as you notice with my life, I don't really plan things out. I just decided, you know what, we're going to do this right now on December 1st. You guys were amazing, man. Everyone here jumped on it, and I've done a lot of the Life Rocks concerts throughout my tour, but I've never, living here in the Valley, I've never done the official concert here because we're always doing fight night and different things, right? And I said, no, this year we're going to do something awesome here. And I wanted to make it really unique. What I wanted to do is make it something that I had done one time before with the Trump Foundation. I made it this concert where things are getting auctioned off. You finish 2 songs. You take the guitar off from playing Every Rose. I said, this is going right now. All of a sudden, someone's like, boom, boom. The next thing you know, we're getting 50 grand and 20 grand and different people coming up, and they get to sing on stage. And I'm doing live karaoke. I'm dragging people up on stage. I took a pair of my shoes off before, and there I'm going to take my boots off, say, here, you buy these. Every penny goes to Life Rocks, and it's so people understand too. This night is a night of what I'm going to call an ambassador of good Quan. It is a party, a celebration. A place is going to be jam-packed, and everyone's going to be having a party. If they can spend money, that's great. If they can't, you guys are buying tickets. I'm buying tickets. We're giving it to people that have been great to us here in the Valley, and everyone just coming out having a great time. And usually what that does is causes people to say, you know what, I really get it. And when they see with myself that every penny of this money, there's no administration fee, there's no nothing. Every dollar in goes out, and most of it goes here in the Valley to Wounded Warriors. Being a diabetic, it goes to all the kids here. There'll be a ton of diabetic kids there that night, and people with type 1 and type 2, childhood cancer. We fight really hard here with Phoenix Children's Hospital and St. Joseph Barrows on that. And it's an amazing, amazing cause. And especially people like PetSmart, Serenity Hospice, Chester's Harley, McMahon's RV, all these people honestly jumped in. And I feel blessed that everyone jumped in so fast with me waiting last minute, as always, to do something. Why would I plan this for years like, they do with Fight Night? I'm just going to jump in and do it, and we're going to make it great.
Well, if it wasn't for the last minute, nothing would ever get done, though. See, it's perfect.
I wouldn't know what to do if I planned it out.
Right?
I wouldn't know what to do. So it means the more chaos, the more fun it usually is.
And has this ever been done before, this kind of style of play and an auction off stuff?
No, we really kind of invented this sort of thing. It happened by accident. I did one in New York with the Trump Foundation, with Eric Trump's foundation and Donald and Don Jr., and we did this thing, and we were at this event, and all of a sudden it kind of got to, this isn't one of those ones where there's, big long speeches. This is a band playing live karaoke. Everything's getting auctioned, whether it's a silent bid or on stage, but there's songs, then something goes real quick. And I sort of invented this style on stage, and all of a sudden I was wearing my hat, took off the cowboy hat, someone bought it for 25 grand. I'm like, they said, but I want to sing a song. I said, let's go. They called out a song, we played it, then the next person bought the guitar for Every Rose, and I said, nope. I said, can you play? And oddly enough, they could play. And they started playing perfectly. We did Every Rose twice in a row, and then it took on a life of its own. It became its own party. Like, people were having fun. People in the way back are like, hold on, I want to come down. And we made this an absolute jam, and we're doing a lot of live karaoke. And when people leave there that night, it's like I said, it's a night of just good times and a good feel for a great cause.
Has your underwear ever been up for auction?
They're going.
Yeah. Everything must go.
I heard Mom always said, wear a clean pair of underwear. You never know what's going to happen. Well, I'm wearing them that night. You never know what could happen.
And tickets just starting at what, $41? They're on sale. People can buy them online, celebritytheater.com. And that's cool that it's really not just a show. That's an experience. Like,
absolutely.
That's something that you tell people about for years.
Yep, and here's what you just nailed it. What we did is, and listen, every different auction and people that want to raise money have different ways of going about it, especially in the economy we live in. People want to know it's going to a great cause. What I've managed to do is I worked really hard with you all in Celebrity Theater. I'm not charging one of those $25,000 dinner plates. This is buy a ticket. You're seeing a concert.
Anyone can afford it.
anyone can afford it, and give what you can give. Every single bit counts. We have stuff up there that's going to go for $10. We have stuff up there that's going to go for $50,000. There's stuff that's going to, and people are going to bid on stuff, and we feel that every single item will go, and we're bringing down some amazing memorabilia, not only from all the sports players and movie stars and all these people, but stuff that myself and Poison have had. It's just one-off items you can't get. You know what I mean? That I'm bringing down, and people have donated. It's going to be huge.
Now, speaking of these one-off items, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember this mug by any chance?
I do remember that mug. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this mug.
Here, give him the mug for the camera.
This is an Island Resort Casino mug that that I got from you. Do you want to tell the story?
No, please start on it, and then I'm going to elaborate.
All right. This was when you were playing with Motley Crue. You invited us to go backstage with you, which you said you were going to do, and you're a man of your word. You
Thank
did.
you. Thank you for saying that. I stuck to my word,
you say
right?
what you mean. Most people, they'll say something and they won't do it. You said, yeah, come backstage, and this was 4 or 5 hours later. You invited, not later, throughout the day.
Right.
So you invited us backstage. You took me into the RV. You said, drink anything you want. I got the tequila. And
drank it out. You get a shot out of this. I said, who can, now let me elaborate my life story. In my true Bret Michaels fashion of never really having it quite together, but always, I'm like a Magoo. I stumble through and things, fortunately, even my surgery, turn out decent, right? This is who out of a coffee cup that says the Island Resort gets to drink tequila on my tour bus, the brand new Prevost we had built out.
It was very beautiful.
It was, thank you. We got in there, and all of us were partying and having a great time, and you guzzled down a good shot of tequila out of a coffee cup. It was brilliant. That's a party.
Yes,
that is there.
You know how to set it up. So I just wanted to show. I still have it, and I still drink out of it.
Thank you very much. So, that was a good night, by the way. That was an awesome night.
Yeah, you rock.
Thank you.
And you know how to just set everything up. The tequila. I mean, we
had a good time.
Comfortable at all.
Good.
So
and that's the thing.
Thank you.
That's the thing too. You know that night. Let me add this. The night, the way you felt on the bus that night, that is genuinely the way this concert's going to feel. When I tell people, don't miss a show. Unfortunately for this year, I know Poison and Def Leppard were out. We didn't get a chance to get here. We were down in Tucson. This is really my first real performance of both the Poison material and Bret Michaels stuff. The concert is really this night. You know what I mean? And what I was going to tell everybody is that feeling you had on the bus where you felt welcome, you felt like this is the way a party should be and a concert should be. That's the way this night's going to be. This night's going to be one of those nights where you go, that made me feel great. I got to sing. I got to party. We got a bunch of wireless mics. We're handing it out to people. We're going to be DJing up there. And it's going to be one of those times where everyone leaves there going, that's the way. Not only do we have a lot of fun, but we got it done and raised a lot of money for a lot of great charities.
And what's going to be really cool, too, is that Celebrity, that's one of those venues where it's big enough where a ton of people can still go to the show,
right?
But you don't feel like you're at an arena show where
it's
Bret Michaels
intimate.
Is up there and I'm down here. It's one big entity. It's
love
one
the
big
Celebrity.
Group.
It's in the round, and it's like this. Everyone has a great seat, and everyone feels like they're part of the show. And that's the reason too. I keep going back to this with people like yourselves and PetSmart and Serenity and McMahon and Chester's and all these people that jumped in. None of you needed to do this. Meaning, there's lots of events for you all, and so you guys doing that. It's sort of this. There's no words to describe my thanks and the amount of respect that goes back and forth, and then the fans coming out. And like I said, I'm buying up a bunch of tickets, taking care of a lot of great people, and making sure that everyone that comes down there, maybe some of those people that come down that didn't necessarily have to even put out for the ticket, what you hope is that they'll go up and spend money, because I want the money, all of it, to be going to the Life Rocks Foundation.
Absolutely. Well, it's Bret Michaels. How could we not?
That's all I'm saying. You're going to hear the Poison hits. You're going to hear songs. We're going to karaoke. We're going to do stuff from rock, the solo stuff, Poison stuff, and we've got a whole lot of material that we're going to do, just great rock and roll songs that people get to come up and jam and sing, and it's going to be awesome.
Not every day you get to do that. Jam with Bret Michaels.
It's good times. And you get to have people throwing their hands in the air and just, good times.
And kind of a side note, thank you for donating that music relaxation room to St. Joseph's.
Thank you.
That was such a cool thing that you did, and it's right here in Arizona, St. Joseph's Hospital. So we saw it. That's a beautiful, beautiful hotel, or not hotel, hospital. It's a hospital that you did. So thank you for doing that. That's very awesome.
You're well. And let me say this about the St. Joseph Bears. They're the ones that saved my life. Everyone down there, Dr. Z and Kathleen, and everyone that has been down there, they took such good care of me when they did the brain surgery, or I don't know, procedure. Let's call it. Let's call it a procedure, right? But when I had the hemorrhage, and then they did the heart surgery, and when I was in there, I got to see a lot of families that were going through really, really traumatic times. And the long story short is, it was in my soul. I said, I have to go in here and make an effort. And we found the most beautiful room we could find, and we went in there, and a lot of people, myself, and sponsored it, and we went in and built this unbelievable music room. It's cool. All my daughters went out and collected tons of toys and books. There's a kids area. So it's all really, but if you're at that hospital, or even if you're going to visit it, you go up there and crash. You've got these big screen TVs. You got an area, couches, but everything's got cool, like the couches got guitar legs on them. It just has a good vibe, and it's meant to be there out of respect for what people are going through, both the patients and the families that are visiting.
Because the hospital's not something you want to go to begin with.
Thank you. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So anything to make it a better experience.
Let me tell you how this goes. Ever since I've been a child, this is what you're going to do. One of the facts that I need to point out now, fans may know this, but may be a little known fact. Think about this. My entire professional life, my adult life, has been spent in a tour bus. And I go down to Nashville and I build these out in Integrity and Celebrity. Every couple years I go down, we build out a new bus. I'm there from every detail. This is cool, functional. I started out, let me say this, I have a quick learning curve. My first few buses I designed were fitted with the double stripper pole and the bar. Fantastic to look at if the double slide is out. Not so great when it comes in. It was a little less functional, let's just say that. So as I went along, I realized that maybe one stripper pole and half a bar, and a tequila that you serve out of a coffee cup, which is functional. You can get drunk and cure your hangover the next day with the same cup, the same mug. It serves
multi-purpose,
dual-purpose mug, right? And as I go along, but the Rock My RV show airs. The show airs on Sunday, May 26th, and it is the most fun rockin' show. And it has that vibe of like, we started it as a rock my ride, make this thing cool, and we're working with all kinds of different people on it. And this show will be as crazy and fun as Rock of Love meets Apprentice meets Life as I Know It. And I'm going to take my personality in there and just have a blast doing this. But I've been camping since I've been a kid, and when I'm on the road, a lot of bands will stay. They get out of their buses, stay in the hotels. I live on my bus. I go to the state park, get my motocross bike out, get my dirt bike out, get my mountain bikes out. I live and camp off of my bus. And people are like, you don't go to a hotel? I very rarely go into the hotels, even though we'll get them. I live off my bus, and so that's how this whole thing came about. And it's very real, very organic.
And what are some of the rules on the road? Like, don't poop during in motion, like when you're driving?
Oh, no, I say poop away. That is one of the functional things you've got to do. Now, I don't want to talk about poop too much, because poop's not sexy, but let's just call it, if you got to do it, you got to go. Well, why not go while you're going? So you're actually going down the road. Find a grinder for the toilet. I know how to do this.
All right.
I know how to build this. I personally wouldn't do it, but I've heard of others that need to do it. So, yes, but this show is about making it cool, functional, and working with families, working with wounded warriors, working with different people, but also working with families. A guy says, him and his wife say, we're young, we want to see the world, we want to go travel around. How do I do this and make this 73 Winnebago cool? And I say, well, I can rock your RV, and that's how it goes.
And so, do you take cues from them, like you get to know them a little bit and design it around them?
I get to know them.
Do you go in with a grand vision, like this is what it's going to be? You're going to love it.
No, it's a double whammy, double-edged sword, because you got to find out what people want. You got to help them live out their dream. I don't want to enforce my dream on them. So I say, what are you looking for? And then I say, I know how to get you there, but I could do this. What do you think? And they look at it, and sometimes they're like, that's cool. And other times they're like, no, not for us. And we work with it, but that's also what makes the show real is sometimes you hit it off, and sometimes they go, nah, Bret, we don't. we don't want that double jacuzzi stripper pole slide. You know what I mean? It's so I'm like, okay, we'll pull that out and go with something a little more conservative for you.
Who doesn't want that?
I do. Everyone wants this.
What's the favorite part of the most recent RV you're touring around in right now?
Bus. We just built this brand new bus, and I'm going to be honest with you. We went in and everything in it. I tried to take kind of pieces of what my life is at home in my house and put it in there, and it's got everything in it. Storage is the most insane thing in a bus. I don't want to bore people, but storage, storage, you got to have room to put your stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And you use every inch of space, but you've also got the bar, you've got this, everything is this cool flat screens and party stuff. The shower's made out of all tile, the floor's all travertine. It feels like a piece of your home. And I spend probably 9, maybe 10 months out of the road on that bus. Mm-hmm. Out of the year, 10 months, maybe 9 months out of the year on that bus. That's a long time.
And does that get rough?
Not for me. I love doing it. And, don't take
Didn't
that
you
wrong.
hear what he just said was on the bus?
I know, but you know what it is? I get your question. People go, man, 9 months. But listen, don't get me wrong. I get to come home in those periods. It's not like they go in, lock the door, and it's 9 months. But it's 9 full months and then coming back home and being with the kids and the family and doing that stuff and then being back out on the road.
And now you're also preparing yourself, I'm assuming, for the challenges that await for season 13 of Celebrity Apprentice.
This is it. And as Celebrity Apprentice, as winning it, I got to tell you something. You have to be absolutely stone cold crazy to ever want to go back and do it again. And all the other winners, I didn't know this till I got there. I'm telling you guys a big thing right here. This is groundbreaking news.
Exclusive?
This is exclusive. Damn it. I felt like Anchorman for a minute. Yeah. I have an exclusive. This is big news. Breaking news. But when you go back there to do it, it is, when you win it, you're going back there with a target. Everyone's coming. And so I assumed that all the other winners would be there, but they were smart, and they said, we're never going through that hell again. We're going to set with Trump on the other side. And I said, well, I'm going to go back and do battle. And Trump has made it very adamant that he wants me on the winner's side and not on this side, so he's making it much tougher for me to be on the fighting side of and I'll just leave it at that. It has been quite a battle.
Who's on it?
It's you got
I've got the list here for you.
Yeah, please kick it. I was just going to go in. You got Trace Atkins. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You hit it. We got
Dennis Rodman, Little John, LaToya Jackson, Trace Atkins, like you said, Penn Jillette, D. Snyder's there.
Damn D.
Stephen Baldwin, Gary Busey. I mean, you've this, and there's a couple others. There's a huge lineup. Who are you looking forward to working with, doing challenges with, competing with, or against?
I'll tell you who I would want on my team. Obviously, when you go in there, you want Trace. Trace Atkins is great. He's a country star and a good friend of mine. Lil Jon just sang on Nothing But a Good Time, which we're going to play here in a minute.
Absolutely.
We're going to jam it. So we got a new version on the Bret Michaels record with Lil Jon. Ace Frehley from Kiss, by the way, plays on it, plays the solo, and Michael Anthony from Van Halen plays on Nothing But a Good Time with me, and Little John. It's a really cool mix, right? But going back to Apprentice, having Penn Jillette, he's great. D's amazing. He knows New York. He knows the area. Mm-hmm. But everyone on there is really good at what they do. But I got to tell you something. It is a really rough one, and it has a unique twist to it. I'll just say that. I'm just going to leave it at that.
And who's your biggest threat? If we know who you want, who do you think's the biggest one that you want out of there as soon as possible?
To me, everyone's a big threat because everyone there, the beauty of Celebrity Apprentice is, here's my downfall, right? I'm going to tell you my downfall. I'm by nature a really loyal team player guy. Mm-hmm. That's me by nature, right? And even when I know I got to go into Apprentice and I have to be the winner, it's tough for me to throw someone under the bus. That's both good and it sucks when you're doing Apprentice. I mean, good in real life, not so good on Apprentice.
Right.
So you're looking at people on this show and you're going, these are my best friends, and eventually we're going to have to stab each other. Mm-hmm. Eventually we got to get tied up and knife it out to win, right?
That's the beauty of that show.
Yeah, so you want to get rid of, your brain is to get rid of the tough people, but my feeling is if you want to win the first things, you want your team to win, right? Mm-hmm. So it is a really unique show, but all of them are a threat to me because all of them said straight up, Bret, we're getting rid of you. We don't want you here. You already won. You know what I mean? And so it's unique. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And you mentioned Nothing But a Good Time. You have Ace Frehley, Michael Anthony, and Little John.
Right.
You also have a couple other tracks, too. Sweet Home Alabama with some of the boys from Skinner.
Yep. The new record is, here's the thing. The new record officially comes out. It's called Bret Michaels, Good Songs, Great Friends. everyone on this record, from the Skynyrd guys to Ace Frehley to Michael Anthony to Phil Collen from Def Leppard, Sal Costa from My Darkest Days. It's all Loretta Lynn, who's a country star, to Lil Jon. You name it. Everyone's on this record, all buddies of mine, people. To me, music is a universal language. I know there's different genres, but the truth of the matter is music in general is a universal language. And I can be one night, I'm going to see Metallica play, then I'm on stage, and I go see Bruce Springsteen, and then all of a sudden I'm hanging out with Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney singing Every Rose at a stadium with them, and the whole entire crowd singing it. So it's, again, a universal language, but this album has everyone on it. Skynyrd, I got to remake Sweet Home Alabama, which I'd love you to play my Congo version. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
It's a very unique version of Sweet Home, paying respect. All the Skynyrd guys played on it, and of course the guys from 38 Special, and it was a unique and awesome day for me.
Do you ever step back, and I've asked this...
Joe Perry from Aerosmith plays on Every Rose.
Really?
Yep. Joe Perry and Loretta Lynn sings it with me. I mean, come on, where's that going to happen?
Yeah.
Hugh McDonald from Bon Jovi plays bass on it, on Every Rose. It's unbelievable.
Do you ever step back and have one of those moments where, like an experience like that, or on The Celebrity Apprentice, and just go, these are some cool friends to have?
I got to say this. I sometimes do this. I'll be like, whew, this is like it. I almost have to keep rolling, and I know I say this like after, and I'm using an example, after my brain hemorrhage. I'm one of those guys that I don't tell everyone to do this. The only way I survive is to get right back on the horse. That's the only way I know, as being a diabetic. Mentally, you've got to beat the battle as much as physically. You have to mentally stay ahead of it, or it'll take you down. When I look around sometimes, I'm thinking, man, it's surreal and crazy. I'm looking over at Joe Perry jamming on Every Rose. I go, this is insane, dude. I had double Z tickets to Aerosmith at the farm show. I'm thinking I was like outside the building. That's how far back my tickets were.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm jamming with Ace Frehley. I'm thinking, shock me, make me feel better. I'm going back to my Kiss Alive too.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, he's going, ban out, now. He's jamming. I'm going, this is the coolest thing ever, man. Phil Collen from Def Leppard, really good friend of mine, and by the way, donated a huge amount of money to the Life Rocks Foundation. He's a good guy.